Okay.
ほら、ジョージ様、見てください。
Okay.
可愛いですよ。ほらほら。
Shannon found a pair of hammerhead sharks playfully swimming in the tank and made a fuss like a grade schooler seeing an aquarium for the first time. Okay.
本当に可愛いね。
Okay.
食べちゃいたいくらいだよ。
Alright.
そんなのかわいそうです。
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
知ってますか？水族館に来て美味しそうなんて言い出すのは世界中でも日本人だけなんだそうですよ。
Damn. Also, false. I grew up on the coast. Kinda.
そうなんだ。アメリカ人でもイタリア人でもきっ
Period.
と食べちゃいたいって言うと思うよ。
その
似合ってるよ、その服。本当に。
Aww. Shannon embraced her chest with both hands in embarrassment. She apparently felt like she was being made fun of for wearing these clothes that she wasn't used to. Sorry. Even though George's face didn't show it, the truth was that even he was surprised at how easily those tremendous words had left his lips. And he was as embarrassed as Shannon on the inside. However, when he saw how embarrassed Shannon was, he started to feel as though he was teasing the girl he likes. And instead of embarrassment, ticklish amusement welled up in him. Oh my fucking gosh. Okay. Wait, that isn't just a feeling. I really am teasing the girl I like. It pains me to admit it, but I used to think that such embarrassing expression I'm sorry, this shit is crazy, bro. Had fallen so far out of use they no longer showed up, even in manga. I can't even, like. On the contrary, if I'd seen a couple acting like that, I'd have felt like throwing rocks at them. However, even if rocks were thrown at us now, I'm sure they would be just like confetti celebrating us. Now, I was, bro, this shit is wild. I can't even appreciate this, man. Ava and Hideyoshi's son, an affable young man liked by everyone in the family. He's currently studying as an assistant for his father's company, and it seems he dreams of making it on his own one day. The oldest of the four cousins, he acts as their leader and arbitrator. Just what is gonna happen, bro? Okay. Now I can't even remember those lonely days when I felt jealous of couples who were completely oblivious to their surroundings. To use an old-fashioned phrase, these would be truly rose-colored days. How sweet. I was so entranced that I no longer even noticed the big tank at the world's largest aquarium. Instead, I saw only Shannon happily playing with the fish, all her changing emotions showing on her face. Is George, like, the main character now? And not Battler? Sorry.
を泳がせることができる大水槽なんて初めて見ました。
この大水槽がここの最大の売りだそうだからね。なんでも世界で最大なんだそうだよ。
そうなんですか。それはすごいですね。本当に素敵です。水槽じゃなくてまるで海の一部をナイフですっと切り取ってここに運んできたみたい。
そうだね。 これはもう立派な小さな海だね。
Despite its size, I hadn't thought of the tank as anything more than a tank. That's why I thought her expression about slicing off a part of the sea with a knife was so interesting. No, I agree. It's very imaginative, bro. No matter how far humans broaden their experiences, in the end, they can only hold a single personal worldview. Maybe that's why it's so interesting to interact with someone who has a different worldview. I said that to her honestly. Man, that's like some shit, I would say. And she responded.
確かにこれは本当の海ではないかもしれません。でもここに泳ぐ彼らが海だと信じたなら、これは確かに海なんです。
We can only hope, right?
たとえ有限の水槽の中だったとしてもね。
海だって有限ですよ。
Yes, in a way.
仮に無限だったとしても、私たちは生きているうちにどれほどの広さを行き来できるんでしょうね。
Good point.
きっとそれは海よりずっと狭い。
確かに皮肉な話だね。世界はこんなにも広いのに、僕たち人間のほとんどは自分の国からも出ずに生涯を終える。
The vast majority of us.
そこが完成された世界だと信じられるなら、たとえ狭い井戸の底だったって立派な世界で海なんです。
Oh my god. That is profound. Because it can also be a cage, right? Good lord.
そこに住むカエルにとっては
We can only hope, bitch. Like, damn. We can only hope. We must imagine Sisyphus is content. Shannon, who spent her days as a servant on... Oh my god. Especially with this girl. This 10-year-old maid. Shannon, who spent her days as a servant on a small island 10 kilometers in circumference called Rakanchima, said that with a smile. Lord. Oh, okay. Here she go. Have to click. Okay. 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 Credits. Okay, so Battler first, right? And honestly, I'm still watching, because them the cousins, I'm still watching them servants. What? The game is afoot, ho. Okay, all the aunts and uncles. Sweet. Oh, I guess more aunts and uncles, right. The younger siblings. The frickin' servants plus the doctor. Oh. Okay, alright, whatever. Alright, round 2. Okay. I'm like getting nervous. Oh my gosh. Honestly, I welcome it because the last time it was sloppy. Like, I want it to be like, give me some red herrings. Like, I can't solve the epitaph because I feel like that's just gonna be locked to the language. But, like, give me some puzzles, some real puzzles. And whatever. After we finished walking through the whole aquarium, we had a slightly late afternoon lunch at a restaurant with a nice view. Any boy's heart will jump about at the sight of a buffet. I myself was like that in the past. Are we, George? But with Shannon beside me, this buffet felt different. I couldn't shamefully make a huge pile of nothing but my favorite foods. I was, how should I put it, worried about my appearance, and chose a menu suited for a snob: toast, salad, and coffee. If I if I were by myself, I'd have made a pile of greasy stuff like yakisoba, mashed potatoes, gratines, and the like.
シャノンはそんな程度でお腹が足りるのかい？
Oh, he's like, I gotta try to stay skinny. You should have gone for
だ
it,
としたら
George.
男ってのは本当に燃費の悪い生き物らしいね。
What a square.
別にそういうつもりじゃなくて。
On Shannon's tray, there was only tea and salad. Maybe the very idea that she could get away with at least one more dish indicated that I was thinking with my male
ジョー
stomach.
ジ様こそそれで足りるんですか？
She's like, we're both trying to stay skinny.
男の方はもう少し召し上がった方が良いかと思います。普段のジョージ様だったらもう少しお昼を召し上がられていると思いますよ。
しまった、そうか。シャノンには僕が本家で昼食をとるときどれくらい食べてるのかバレてるんだったね。
はい。
While I don't trust the servants, like, this is still sweet,
だから
I
今日
guess.
はお腹の具合でも悪いのかと思いまして。
Shannon was showing concern that I wasn't feeling well. Apparently, I'd made her worry with my stupid attempt to impress her. And in any case, it didn't seem like my stomach was going to let me keep this pretense up any longer.
いや
Sorry.
もう白状するよ。ついついカッコつけちゃってね。女の子と一緒だからって遠慮しちゃって。
The dog tags,
だと思いました。
What could be on those?
親族会議でのお昼の食べっぷりから考えて、それではとても足りないと思いましたので、遠慮なさらずにどうぞもう一皿を取りに行ってきてください。
Also, this outfit is cute. I think. What? Never mind, we won't get into it.
ずるいな。僕ばっかり恥ずかしいよ。じゃあシャノンはどうなんだい？
I like this bag.
普段からこんな小食で後ろ宮家のお勤めがこなせるのかい？
Shannon grew silent and blushed bright red. Apparently, I wasn't the only one putting on a front. When I realized that, my embarrassment disappeared completely.
なんだ、シャノンもそれじゃ足りないんじゃないか。そうだよそうだよ。普段のランチならもう少し量が多いものをペロリと平らげてたよ。
Yeah, let's just be open about
女の
it.
子のお腹は魔法でできてるから、これでも平気なんです。
Girl.
ということは僕たちは互いに見えっ張りだったってことになるね。もう遠慮はなしにしないかい？
Right. Let's get the yakisoba. I smiled to show that I wouldn't make fun of her anymore and stood up from the seat.
せっかく沖縄まで来たのにゴーヤを食べないのはもったいないからね。ゴーヤの炒め物でも持ってくるよ。シャノンも一緒に行こうよ。ほらほら。
To anyone watching us, we might have seemed like a pretty humorous and, above all, embarrassing couple. I guess, girl. But it's only after becoming a couple that you realize this banter means the world to us and is our world. Oh, okay. So no matter how cool the looks, what if no one's paying attention and George's just like, aren't we so cute? Cause like, girl, just go in. So no matter how cool the looks were, we might have been getting from other people, we wouldn't even notice. Indeed, at this age, I finally understand the feelings of couples who want to endlessly flirt without any regard to their surroundings. After I returned with the plate piled up with fried food, Shannon arrived with a lovely cake. While laughing at our fake stoicism, we resumed our lunch.
せっかく海を一望できる展望レストランなのにあいにくの曇天が悔やまれるね。
Our window seats, which we were lucky to get, showed us seaside scenery so grandiose that it didn't even fit entirely within our field of vision. I do love a big window. However, because of the cloudy sky, it was a far cry from its normal beauty.
そうですね。
I don't care, I just love a big window.
晴れていたらさぞや真っ青な海を見せてくれたでしょうに。
そうだね。普段
Oh
六
my
軒島で
gosh.
海を見慣れてると思うけど、ここの海はきっと格別な青さを見せてくれたはずだよ。
Like, even just like the wide open sky, bitch, I love that. Oh my gosh, get these buildings out of the way.
残念だな。
あ、でもお仕事の最中に見る海はどんなに青くても灰色と同じです。でも今日はお仕事中じゃないから。
Apparently, Shannon was doing her best to say an embarrassing line. But I agreed harshly. He would. Virgo or something.
ジョージ様と二人きりで見る海なら、たとえ灰色でも真っ青に見えます。って言えたら、100点満点でご褒美だったんだけどな。
George is... Never mind.
すみません。
George is so... This... Never mind. It's the 80s. I don't know.
ご褒美は何だったか聞きたい？
その聞いてもいいものでしたら。
Like, if I were overhearing this, I would be like, is she okay?
ダメ。
Do I need to jump in?
教えない。
ずるいですよ、そんなの。
Maybe it's cute. When I was in elementary school, I was always the kid that got bullied. Wow. When everyone teased me, I grew nervous and speechless to the delights of the bullies. Back then, I wondered why everyone teased me. But now, teasing Shannon like this, I understand why. This is so much fun. I can, play with her emotions however I please. And I can have them all to myself. Something about this is just a little... Right now, I can't think of any higher pleasure. And the only reason why I say that is because so far the writing has been very, like, real, right? Which is exactly why I have to treat her lightly. I don't want her to get embarrassed and have a bad time. So I decided to end the topic there and then. Good, okay. It's not good to be too persistent. Okay, George is... He was sensible last episode too, but I was just like, George, like, chill out. Like, leave this girl alone. She works for you. At the end of the day.
ひょっとすると雲が晴れて素敵な海が見られるかもしれないよ。
そうですね。行ってみたいです。
うん、そうしよう。でもそのケーキも本当に美味しそうだね。僕も同じものを持ってこようかな。
いけません。お昼にそんなに食べた上にケーキまで食べたら太っちゃいますよ。ジョージ様は秀吉様の血が濃いみたいですから気をつけないとおデブさんになっちゃいます。
See, that's wifey behavior.
じゃあシャノンは僕がおデブになったら嫌いになっちゃう？僕はたとえシャノンがおデブになっちゃっても嫌いにならないよ。
そういう意味じゃなくて、ちゃんと体を気遣わないと健康にって。
母さんにもよく注意されるよ。やっぱり僕も太極拳とかを始めて運動しないとダメかな。
ダイエットは無茶な運動よりも食生活の見直しから
She's
始めた
not
方がいいんですよ。
wrong. It's 80% diet, 20% exercise.
その上で運動を重ねないと 効果が出ない
Allegedly.
んだそうです。
つまりそれはデザートのケーキは控えろってことだね。じゃあ仕方ないからシャノンがそのケーキを頬張るところを眺めていてあげるよ。
Aww.
その、ケーキ丸々一つはさすがに食べ過ぎだと思いますけど、半分くらいだったら大丈夫かもしれません。これ本当に美味しいんですよ。
Okay, let's get to the shit. Shannon cut her own cake and tried to move half to my salad plate. I have no doubt that she wanted to share the flavor of the delicious cake with me. Even so, I deliberately and meanly pulled my plate away from her. She blinked her eyes in surprise. She couldn't seem to figure out if that was the refusal of the cake or not. So I winked, opened my mouth, and said, okay, come on.
それが一番したかったんですね。
Let's get back to the rest of the family. I'm over them.
ジョージ様は甘えん坊です。はい、
Can we back up? Sorry, I didn't even mean to do that. Chomp! It tasted like cheap chocolate cake you could find anywhere. Still, it was exceptional. This cake is so good. Because eating cake in such an embarrassing way and Sophie with the ultimate stereotypical lovey-dovey couple had been my dream for many years. It made this cake's flavor heavenly. If the earth is destined to end someday, I wouldn't have had any regrets if it happened right then. It was such a moment of bliss. Honestly, they're probably giving George such a nice moment now because of what's about to happen. It's like that, again, that pre-murder character development. I got it. After that, we gathered shells, ran from the waves, and enjoyed each other's company while walking along the beach. In the end, the clouds never parted. Maybe I should be looking for clues in this cake scene, honestly. However, we both believed that our eyes were still reflecting a deep blue sea.
なんだか幸せすぎて怖くなります。
So far, I just got that they're both skinny legends.
たまに言うね。何を怖がることがあるんだい？
私、後ろ宮家にお仕えする使用人です。
Yes.
そんな私が後ろ宮家に連なる方とこうしてご一緒してるなんて。
Could Shannon... Yes, maybe there's a motive here.
その過ぎたことのように思えて。
僕もびっくりしてるよ。シャノンちゃんと出会ったのは昨日今日のことじゃない。何年も前から面識もある。でも年に何度もない親族の会合の席で挨拶をするだけ。そんな君とこうして一緒に過ごせる関係になるなんて全然想像できなかったよ。
Okay, see, this is cute again.
それはシャノンもでしょ。
私はその。
ん？
Is he gonna propose to her like a canon event? Like he did in the last
想像
one?
だけはしてました。いえ、その想像というよりはその妄想みたいなもので、いつも紳士的で思いやりのあるジョージ様とご縁があったらなって、その妄想をしてただけで。
じゃあ僕たちの縁は君のその信じた心のおかげだね。思う力には。
Yeah. I was like, hang on, is this some magic shit, but like that fake magic that's like not fucking real magic?
だからその魔法がきっと僕らを巡り合わせてくれた。
Is this even really happening?
そうですね。
Now that I think about it. Because Battler's not here.
多分きっと
And his name was first, so I still only trust Battler.
でもね、そんなことはないんだよ。
Because it's a new game, so that means it could be somebody else doing something else. So, yeah, fuck out of here. I just want to see Battler.
僕の中でも毎年出会うたびに美しく見違えていった君の存在はとても大きくなっていた。そして君にとっての僕も同じものだとしたなら、今日ここに僕らがあることは必然の結果であって魔法や奇跡なんかじゃないのさ。
奇跡はあったんです。
I'm hearing the seagulls.
ジョージ様。
She stopped at the water's edge and gazed beyond the sea.
奇跡？
Shaky. See, so she's a believer. Like, that's established. That's what I'm getting. I was bewildered by that slightly mysterious expression, which I sometimes heard her use. Right. Get into it.
はい、魔法です。言っても信じてくれないでしょうから言いません。でも確かにその魔法には私とジョージ様を巡り合わせてくれる奇跡を叶える力がありました。
それは何かのおまじないのこと？
そうですね。そういう一つ違うのはおまじないなんかじゃなく本当に本当の魔法だったという点です。
No, honestly. Perhaps Shannon isn't alone in wanting to credit an encounter on a miracle, or on chance. It might be a universal thing all the girlies share. For a man like me, an encounter with a girl is 70% effort to try to please her and 20% raw courage. And only 10% chance. What she believes to be everything carries little relative weight within me. Wait, what? Maybe that way of thinking is in itself calculating and typical of men. Damn, so he's just like, yeah, honey. But were I to express that in words, any kind of magic would be broken. Yeah, right? Yeah. I do think that to become this close has taken many fortuities, concessions, and great efforts from us both. We have this private time together now only as a result of all those things put together. And if she wants to call that magic, that isn't strange in the slightest. That's why I answered her the way I did.
そうだね。
But there's still some disconnect there.
同じ運命を100回繰り返したら、僕と君がこういう関係になる結果は一度しか起こらないものだったかもしれないね。
Let's think about it.
互いを意識し合いながらも、僕たちは他人行儀な関係を今も続けていたかもしれない。そんなよその世界の僕らから見れば、今の僕たちはまさに奇跡のような関係に違いないだろうから。
But she means it something a little deeper, I feel like.
そういうのじゃなくて本当に魔法なんです。
Is she being for real?
男の方にいくら言ってもこういうのは信じてもらえないんでしょうか。カノン君も全然信じてくれませんし。
信じるよ。僕が信じなくて魔法が解けたら嫌だからね。
Now, who the hell does that sound like? Ew, it's gonna be some Neon Shion shit. I can already see it.
ジョージ様。
She's not to be trusted. Oh my god. In a small voice, I apologized for making light of her magic. Who else doesn't like when people do that? The words seemed to make Shannon a lot happier. After all, if a pair of people believes in the magic of love, it becomes eternal.
そうそう
This music, dang.
僕からわがままが一つあるんだけど聞いてもらえないかな。
はい、何でしょうか。
そのジョージ様って呼び方、嫌いじゃないけどもうなしにしないかい。
Yes, my lord.
もちろん後ろ宮家では対面もあるだろうから六軒島での普段まで強制はしないよ。でも二人きりの時はなしにしよう。
This music, like...
そういうルールにしよ
ルールです
A
か。
rule. What a way of talking.
もし破ったらどうなるんでしょう。
う。そう
No,
だ
I'm just kidding. Oh, here he goes.
ルール違反には何か罰ゲームがないといけないかもしれないね。
It's cute. It's cute. It's very J drama.
そうだな。何がいいかな。聞きたい？
This can the music chill?
いえ、聞きたくありません。
Like I'm sitting here like is something playing in the background? This like dramatic piano. It's amazing, but dang.
何がいいか僕も考えておくことにするよ。
Damn, he don't have nothing ready.
はい、
Boo.
ジョージさん。
素敵な響きだね。嬉しいよ、シャノン。
It must be. It must be. It must be. Because why are they doing all this music for this? You feel me? And she's... Bruh, hold on. I was jumping down Cannon's neck. Game 1. Game 2. I'm watching you, Shannon. I'm watching you. Because why are they doing all this? To open up the game. Come
さ
on.
よという名前があります。
That's your real name? 10-year-old maid with your maid outfit like you always... Okay.
そっか。ルールはフェアじゃないといけないね。
Damn, fucking playing 100 greatest love
僕も
songs.
それを守っ
Like,
て今から君のことをサヨと呼ぶことにするよ。
oh my gosh, like I hope that is captured.
いいね。サヨ。
はい。
This freaking music. Okay. I put my arm around her shoulder and held her close. Her delicate body was pulled irresistibly towards me, and she leapt into my chest like a doll. As I held her head in my arms, we looked at the horizon together. Okay.
真っ青い海だね。この海を二人で見られてとても嬉しいよ。
Aww.
私もです。この真っ青な海をあなたと二人で見ることができてとても嬉しいです。
My God, when the seagulls cry. As we gazed at the gray sea and a light rain began to sprinkle down, we kept listening to each other's heartbeats. Aww. Who doesn't love a big dramatic scene? Oh, okay, here we go. So the first one was a mystery, and now we got a romance. Okay. The tone has shifted. The sound of waves soaked into my ears. No, this was the sound of raging waves. My body bathed in painfully cold splashes did not allow me to forget the memory of the day when my old fate was broken and smashed. In the past, tomorrow had been literally like a mirror to me. All I could see in it was the same me that existed today. Wait a second. Okay, so we're okay. Is this the same? I don't. I remember that was the same. Okay. Who's talking? The sound of waves stuck into my ears. My body bathed in painfully cold flashes did not allow me to forget. So she is going through it. The memory of the day when my old fate was broken and smashed. I don't think this is George. In the past, tomorrow had been literally like a mirror to me. I think this is the witch. All I could see in it was the same me that existed today. My tomorrow would never be any different from today. That was my old fate. But at that moment, for the first time, I saw a different fate beyond the mirror. The witch whispered, I'm telling you. She tempted me to take... Oh. Okay, I think, again, okay, so... I think the witch is the manifestation of the culprit, right? And so in this game, I'm watching Shannon, right? And I think this is... Like, we're using the witch's name to carry out the murders, right? So we're speaking metaphorically. She tempted me to take a bite out of the fruit of knowledge, but now I'm also gonna have to watch canon. She tormented me. I'm gonna have to watch Genji's ass too. She tormented me, saying that as long as I stayed in the paradise of God, I would remain furniture. Who was that? The servants. And so I learned of love and decided to choose to become a person. Those days were like sweetly melting honey. Okay. So that's why Shannon called it magic for real. But, like, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? But then I hadn't realized that they were the beginning of days filled with a new kind of suffering. Because, like, if she's obviously aware. And by she, I mean the witch, right? Beatrice is obviously aware that she's not really a witch, right? Because they're putting this shit together. So the culprit knows that they're the culprit, is what I'm trying to say, whatever that means. So if the culprit knows that they're the culprit, what does Shannon mean when Shannon, assuming it's Shannon this game? We'll see what Shannon's up to. But assuming it's Shannon, what does Shannon mean when they say, like, there is magic? Like, what does that mean in this case, right? In the culprit's case. Like, oh my god. Before this happens, like, what happens before the actual murder happens to make Shannon say that? Those days are like sweetly... Okay, whatever. Wait a second. No, it has to be, because it said furniture, so it has to be a servant. Taking a motorboat that I had just been told about, I made my way to this islet. No, I couldn't possibly call it an islet. It'd really be more appropriate to call it a reef. It had a torii and a small shrine for the local deity. It was probably built to worship the guardian deity of Rokkenjima. Even though I didn't know the exact meaning, I understood that it had a holy significance. Despite being in a place like this, I took just one more look around to see if there was anyone observing me. The only things I could see were the stormy ocean, Nijima looming in the distance, and the waves breaking against Rakanjima's steep cliffside. I readied myself, timidly approached the small shrine, and took up the mirror that had been placed there. It was an old-looking mirror, dim and dirty. If it were an ordinary mirror, that would probably give you a terribly bad impression of its value. Did that scene with George even happen? Is that what they meant by its smell? Okay, however, since the mirror had been offered to the small shrine, that quality made me feel some kind of divinity from it. And I realized this was not merely a mirror. Even if it was nothing more than an old-looking mirror to a non-believer, like myself, in actuality, it was a mirror that had an important meaning. Is it really alright to break it after being captivated by honeyed words? No, this is no mirror. It is the inescapable life I have lived until today, my fate. Break it. Break it and seize a life from beyond the mirror. If I don't break it, my life will forever be a pair of facing mirrors. Nothing will ever change in the slightest. The witch whispers. She tempts me to take a bite out of the fruit of knowledge. Or maybe I've already had a taste of that fruit. Because I ended up knowing those maddening emotions. Just as Adam and Eve felt compelled to pluck the fig leaf. Did something happen to her? I think Kenzo did something to her. I can no longer go without breaking this mirror. I fought with conflict for many days. Inside my heart, the virtuous part of me and the part that sided with the witch repeatedly fought each other. See? And now, here I am. Did the part of me who was here win or lose? There's only one thing I know. Internal conflict. To obtain something, you must be ready to lose something. The cowards who don't risk loss and never try to change anything will never be given the key to open the path to a new future, aka magic, in this universe. The key is already in my hands. It is to break this. To break it. Is there any other effort I can make as furniture imprisoned on Rakanjima? No. There's nothing but this. Come, have courage. I'll free myself from being mere furniture. Like, what does that mean? And I'll accept my new sufferings and become human. These are surely the small and large trials I must impose on myself. Now, break it. Break the eternally unchangeable fate that imprisons me into pieces. I raised it high, thought back on all those days of conflict, and okay, girl, you gotta break this shit. Through it. Bam. Shoosh. The thunder roared, crying out against me for my outrageous act. It was truly the wrath of the angels, preparing to banish me from eternal paradise. I looked down on the mirror, tumbling at my feet, broken in 2 equal parts. And having made sure I had accomplished my task, I looked up at the enraged sky and screamed. I knew it! I knew it! What is Shannon? What have you wrought? The thunder roared once more. I had already been banished from paradise. So I would have to struggle by myself in order to live. Okay, it's Shannon time. It's Shannon time. Shannon finna go off. Shannon finna go off. Let's just see how it happens. Maybe the question here isn't who it is. Just like the epitaph, the question is where's the gold? And how? How is it? Like, they're already giving me who. I really think. Okay, the witch had said it. That's the single element of the world. To lose it means to lose the world. Like how a flask with a hole in the bottom can't be filled, no matter how much water you scoop into it. Episode 1, they was like, keep your eye on the servants. I was like, bet. Episode 2, they said, this who it is. Now see how it happened. But what does this mean in the real world, right? Like, we get she's talking to the witch, but like, what promise is she gonna get from this? What did breaking the mirror do? Cause like the culprit like puts blood on the walls and like does all that shit, so people are like, it's the witch. Or she'll create locked rooms, right, that make it impossible. But like by breaking the mirror, is it just another just part of it, so like that they could just look at the mirror broken and be like, oh well, that's what started the murders? Like, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. Like, she put this shit in a public place so everyone could see it. So did she just break the mirror just so everyone could see it? Was this the first sign? Whatever. Fuck it. We don't have any clues. The shit hasn't even started yet. I don't even got Battler. Okay. We'll figure it out. I couldn't even process the opening because I was just like, until I lay eyes on it with Ushiro Miya Battler, it is, I don't know. It is what it is. It's not even really happening. I'm just so traumatized by this game. Okay, my mind wandered. Back, please let me be Battler, bro. Back to the days when I could barely imagine the happiness I have today. I was a middle schooler at the time. An ordinary girl who dreamed about love as is normal at that age. But I really should not have dreamed that dream. Are we Shannon? Yeah. Because I'm furniture. Furniture is nothing more than a tool and is not human. For a person less than human, such as myself, just receiving my education was more than sufficient happiness. So even thinking about love was more than I deserved. Damn. I don't, here's my thing, okay? Yeah, like, fuck the culprit. The culprit's a piece of shit. but they did something to that girl. I already know. We don't even have to get into a backstory. I just know they did something to that girl. Because in game one, literally every single adult, including Kenzo, who we only saw, like, he wasn't ever with the family. We just hear about Kenzo and what he's like. Every single adult is terrible. 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 They bully Shannon. They're terrible to each other. They're weird. And that girl has been working there since she was 10 years old. And she got whatever. Okay. It's whatever. We already know. That's all I'm going to say. The Ushiromiya Family Conference is a customary event held every October. But relatives would occasionally visit at other times as well. Of course, they didn't come just to drink tea. On this day, Ava's family had visited the Head family on Rakinjima. The 3 people from Krause's family and the 3 people from Ava's family had gathered in the parlor and were having a friendly chat as they updated everyone on their situations. Ganji had supposedly told Kenzo of Ava's family arrival, but he hadn't come down yet. He was probably immersed in his own research and couldn't spare the time. This often happened, so the others waited patiently for their fickle father to come down.
ほう、それは頼もしいじゃないか。お父さんのところでたくさん勉強して早く手助けができるよう頑張りたまえ。
ありがとうございます。今は父の紹介でたくさんの人生の先輩方に本当に貴重な勉強をさせていただいています。そのいずれも学校では学べないことばかりです。
学校で習うのは国語算数やない。ものを学ぶ姿勢と態度を学ぶんや。その基礎ができてようやく生涯をかけた勉強が始まるんやで。ここをな、勘違いしとるやつは生涯学べん石頭や。国語算数で満点取れても会社じゃ役に立たへん。
全くその通りだよ。秀吉さんの教育方針はいつも本当にご立派ですな。
ジョージもまだまだ半人前や。それを常に忘れんで勉強に励むんやで。
Honestly, not wrong. You know, you always want to have the growth mindset. I get it.
よしなさいよあなた。ジョージはいっつも一生懸命頑張ってるわよ。
It's not a language or math you don't care which studies attitude to have towards. Oh, yeah, no, he's not wrong. Which, didn't he say that before? Yeah, he's not wrong. You don't always have to be the best, but you, like, develop a love for learning. Because that's the most important gift, right? Is the how to problem solve. Like, you hate school, that's fine. Figure out how to do school easier is what you should learn. Instead of like whatever. Anyway.
うちのジェシカにも爪の赤を分けてもらいたいわ。
まだテストの結果を根に持ってるのかよ。受験勉強は私なりにやってるって。
Honestly, school's also kind of bullshit at the same time, so it's a double-edged sword. Don't be too hard on yourself. It's always the best advice.
こんな席でまで言うことはねえだろうよ。うせえぜ。
Like, your self-worth isn't tied to how well you perform in school. Both of those things are true. When George was praised for his diligence, the conversation would nearly always turn to Jessica, who hated studying. Jessica made an openly displeased face, as though she'd known it would come back to her. Like, as someone who was always good at studying, like, I don't know. Did I win something? School left me in debt. It is what it is. Anyway. Everyone's using shortcuts, so use the shortcut. That's my advice.
ジェシカは勉強と一緒に少しはおしとやかな言葉遣いも学ぶ必要があるんじゃないか。
Stay in school.
後ろ宮家の家紋を背負う一人娘がそれではみっともないな。
あら、これはこれで魅力的よね。時代は変わるのよ。男に食わしてもらうために定宿を装わなくてはならなかった時代はとっくに終わってるんだから。
She is so funny. And she's also spitting. But she's also a bitch. People are complex. People are complex.
やっぱエヴァおばさんは分かってますね。
Yeah, like, let the girl cuss. Who gives a shit? I mean...
今日は頭痛が特に答えます。
I need her to chill with these headaches.
大丈夫ですか？
I feel so bad for her. I need her to get some Prozac. And not even just that, some therapy. Both of those.
夏日おばさん、顔色が優れないみたいです。
ありがとう。大丈夫です。
It's okay, babe. Like...
でも本当に月日が経つのは早いものね。
Your daughter just wants to give you a hug and you need it.
半ズボン姿で浜辺を駆け巡ってずぶ濡れになって帰ってきた日がついこの間のように思います。
Although your daughter is not your therapist at the same time, like...
それはジェシカちゃんも同じよね。今じゃお化粧の仕方にだってこだわるレディーなんだから。
Such a happy scene.
前にこだわりがあるのね。今日のあなた、とってもキュートよ。
Even in the 80s.
ありがとうございます。誰も気づいてくれなかったんで、自信なくしてたとこです。
Oh, so cute, aunt interaction. Like, wow, a full smile rose to Jessica's face as a result of her own studies were finally noticed. Ava smiled back just as widely. Then she turned that smile towards Natsuhi.
ダメよ、夏日姉さん。
Oh my god. Honestly, so like, yeah, we can criticize her for being like a bitch, right, to Natsuhi, but like this is how sisters argue. I'm a better mom to your daughter.
自分のこの小さな変化にも気づかなくちゃ。
Oh my gosh, what a bitch, even when she's being like familial about
かわ
it.
いそうなジェシカちゃん。
I would eat this up.
一番最初にお母さんに気づいてもらいたかったでしょうに。ねえ。
Not the freaking Tilda. Like, the disrespect. I love how it's like a mother off, but it's like, it's so friendly. Well, it depends on who you ask if it's friendly. It's friendly to me.
いいんです、いいんです。あの人はそういうの全然気づかない人なんで。
Like, that's how my family jokes around, is we're mean to each other.
ジェシカ、母親はあの人呼ばわりとは感心できんね。
Yeah.
謝りなさい。
Oh my god.
言葉遣いについては後でよく言って聞かせます。
Oh my god. Parents gotta just suck the energy out the room.
お子様は邪魔だってんならそう言ってくれよ。私は席を外させてもらうぜ。ここは空気がよどんでるぜ。
Honestly.
ジェシカ。
Jessica was still at the unpredictable age with exams right around the corner. Recently, she had clashed often with her mother, who was enthusiastic about her education.
失礼いたします。
Jessica making to leave the parlor in a bad mood, and Shannon pushing a serving cart loaded with tea bumped into each other.
ああ、シャノン。私の分のお茶はいらないぜ。私は庭でもほっつき歩いてくる。
It would drive me crazy. Like, the fact that you have a whole ass person just like serving you tea while you chill out in your house. Like, god damn.
お嬢様?
Servant culture is crazy.
シャノン、お茶が冷めます。配膳を急ぎなさい。
失礼しました。
Shannon hadn't actually done anything wrong, but Natsuhi, who felt like some shame to herself, had been shown, lashed out at her emotionally. This is something that often happened in the Ushiromiya family, but it seemed that Shannon wasn't strong-willed enough to accept it that way. Damn! So she, like, develops her will when she, like, turns up? Anyway, she shrank back and nervously prepared the black tea. She had the unfortunate habit of making more mistakes when she felt intimidated. Her pitiful appearance disgraced the peaceful atmosphere that had been there until just a moment ago. That wasn't really Shannon's fault, but she thought she might be the source and felt a pressure on her chest. Her shaking fingers made the porcelain clatter, and you couldn't have called it graceful, not even as an empty compliment. The more pitiful everyone thought that was, the greater the silence grew. The more irritated Natsuhi looked, and the more Shannon cowered. Shannon's thin neck felt like it was being, choked and suffocated by the death god called tension. This is wow, okay. I see what we're on. Then George spoke cheerfully as if to blow away the stiff atmosphere.
これはいい香りだね。何の紅茶かな?
I hope, truly. Is this her motive? This is her villain origin?
これは。
言わないで。当てるから。
Honestly, like, you got this weird power dynamic going on. It's stressful. I mean, like, between her and, like, Ava doesn't like her, you know what I mean?
これは特徴的な
She
匂いだ
works
か
for
ら
them.
多分わかるよ。アールグレイかな。
And this is like her only saving grace.
多分そうだと思います。
But there's still this disconnect there that I'm trying to uncover.
多分アールグレイで合ってるよ。台所に戻ったら紅茶の缶を見てごらん。
ジョージ君は紅茶に詳しいのかね？
Damn.
お世話になっている社長さんに紅茶の詳しい人がいまして。
Oh my god. I hate the fact that they're treating this girl like this.
講釈を聞いているうちに少しだけわかるようになりました。
Oh, you know about tea. Oh. Shut up.
ああ、おこのぎ食品の社長さんかい。あの人、そういううんちくは得意やな。
紅茶の名前って産地を示すことが多いんでしょ？じゃあこれはアールグレイという土地で栽培されたのが由来なのかしらね。
昔イギリスにグレイ伯爵という人がいたそうで、その人にちなんでつけた名前だそうだよ。ちなみにこの特徴的な匂いは茶葉のものではなくて、ベルガモットというみかんの親戚にあたる果物でつけたものなんだって。
そうなの。初めて知りました。そういう知識を持っていると紅茶もより美味しくいただけますね。
酒もタバコも同じや。嗜好品はロマンをたしなむもんやで。こういううんちくが味わいを深めるんや。
薬の能書きと同じよね。
Oh my god.
夏日姉さんも愛用してる頭痛薬の説明書今度はじっくり読んでから飲んでみなさいよ。
Like, okay, now chill out.
それはいい。
He don't never have his wife back. Oh my god.
今夜試してみなさい。
ええ、試してみます。
シャノンちゃん、そのポットを開けてごらん。
See, and it's like, if I were Shannon, it's like, did this save the day, or did this just, like, make me feel more like a dumbass, honestly?
茶葉の中にベルガモットを乾燥させたものが混じっているのを見つけられるはずだよ。
はい入っています。オレンジの皮を乾燥させたようなものが混じっています。
They're not now being nice to her, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh yeah, Shannon, oh, pour yourself a cup of tea, Shannon.
多分これがベルガモットだね。
Like, they don't see her as an equal.
アールグレイの香りの主成分だよ。匂いは鮮烈だから味がきつそうな
Like,
印
she's
象がある
still in a room with all
素直
these
で飲み
fucking
やすい味なんだ
people.
よ。
Respectfully.
ミルクティーにすると香りもまろやかになって素敵かもしれないね。
Absolutely. He's not wrong. Earl Grey, some lavender Earl Grey with just like a hint of vanilla, milk, almond, delicious.
みんなに注いでポットに余った分があったら、ぜひミルクティーにして飲んでみるといいよ。
They're gonna be like, get your servant paws off our tea.
ありがとうございます。
George gave her a small wink. Shannon finally realized that George had been doing her a favor by calming down the atmosphere in the room. See, she didn't even... That's what I'm saying. Because, like, I would just be like, I just want to die. I would want to curl up in a ball and die. Because what the hell are y'all all talking about, tea? And he had been doing it for her sake as she had lost her self-confidence. The Oshiramiya family did not pamper their servants, so if there was any awkwardness, they would be harshly punished. So it didn't often happen that they were given a helping hand like this. Thanks to George's concern, Sharon was somehow able to get a hold of herself and finish serving everything safely. If she was calm when she worked, she could easily carry out her task elegantly and flawlessly. By the time the black tea was laid out on the table and the elegant scent drifted around, the room was completely back to how it had been, in a peaceful mood as everyone praised George's knowledge. Oh my goodness. Okay, the biggest thing besides Cannon in the boiler room in episode 1 was when he fucked up that wheelbarrow in front of everyone and Battler had to come and help. And I think they were even playing this song. I don't remember. Because Cannon, like, looks off into the distance and he gets, like, really fucking weird. And I was like, honestly, entering his villain origin story right there. This is her villain origin story. Because if this shit would have happened to me, if I was being choked by the tension death god, or whatever the fuck that shit said, then if this happened to me, oh yeah, I'm killing everybody. Absolutely. What? No, it's over. It's over. Because I'm quitting my job. What? Shannon wanted to thank him for saving her, but it didn't look like she would get the chance. So she at least thanked him inside her heart, praying to God that George would hear it and push the serving cart away. Yeah, I'm crawling into a ball. I'm curling into a ball, and I'm never going to work again. Because I don't need y'all, whatever. Shannon and Jessica could be seen in the rose garden. Jessica, having gotten into a fight with her mother, now felt unable to simply nonchalantly wander back into the parlor So she found herself here, killing time.
思い返せばこういう助けられ方をしたのは今回が初めてじゃない気がします。
Whenever I made a careless mistake and George Sama was there, he would always naturally smooth things over and make things harmonious, I think. Maybe it wasn't something as direct as picking up a fork that had been dropped, but that was his way of caring. Even servants have pride. I guess. They want to fix their own mistakes by themselves. Because if a guest helped them out with that, they would lose face. IDK, this is someone that you're wanting to marry, bro. Like, maybe it's a cultural thing, I'm not sure. If my wife had like, I would have been like, oh my gosh, let me help you. What? Like, after they get married, is she still gonna be a maid? Like, what's the plan? That's oh my god, okay. Sharon had refuted Jessica's words uncharacteristically forcefully, so Jessica caught on immediately. Oh my god. I bet he did. Jessica loved teen magazines with these kind of stories, and she was always on the phone talking excitedly with her friends about that kind of thing. So she had a keen intuition for this kind of romantic topic. So this wasn't the first time a topic like this had been brought to Shannon. But it was certainly the first time she had noticed George as a member of the opposite sex. She was furniture, and George was an honored guest connected to the Yoshiramiya family. She had thought it impermissible to even imagine any deeper relationship, so she hadn't thought about it. Jessica was taking immense pleasure in poking fun at all this, since it didn't affect her. Shannon was doing her best to make sure that the blushing cheeks weren't discovered. So if George showed up at a time like that, there would be no way that she would be able to keep her cool. They saw George come out from the entrance hall of the mansion. It looked like he had seen them as well. He headed over, waving his hand. Shannon had to pull herself together. Oh. Okay. So somebody saw grandfather. God of pestilence. Jesus Christ. Right? God dang.
おじいさまは僕らのことを疫病神だと思っているかもしれないね。
Damn.
何しろ事業用にお金を借りたいという話でやってきたんだから。
Indeed, Pess. That's right. This wasn't the customary annual October family conference. Ava's family had visited to apply for a business loan from the main family. Kenzo had vast resources, and he lent those out to his children. Of course, this was not money to lend because they had gotten themselves into financial trouble. How would they expand their business using the vast amount of money that they borrowed? how much interest would be attached, and how soon could it be repaid. This wasn't a loan for the have-nots. It was a loan for those who were on the offense. Kenzo judged strictly whether it was worth lending out his fortune, and afterwards he strictly oversaw its use. So there was occasionally this spectacle where relatives visited Rakanjima and explained their business to Kenzo. You know, something about their family is actually quite new money, now that I think about it. Like, they all carry themselves, especially Natsuki, as this, like, old money, like, I am head of the Oshiramiya, you will respect the head of the Oshiramiya. When you think about this shit, everyone's broke. This man just happened to come into like a bunch of gold. And he has these magic, aka shady, business dealings where he just like shows people gold and it's like, okay, now loan me a bunch of money as collateral. So like, yeah, he has a good business sense, but it's really giving Logan Roy, bro. Like, it's giving like, you're not whatever. Okay, like, yeah, you're rich, but like, do you have class? Money can't buy class. I said in the least classist way possible. To the parents, it may well have been a meeting concerning the movement of large sums of money, forcing immense stress upon them. But to Jessica, who lived on this isolated island called Rakanjima, it was a precious opportunity to meet up with her cousins. So even her bad mood from getting into that fight with her mother was immediately cured by this chat with the infrequent visitor George.
金なんて余ってるんだろうから暇よく貸してやりゃいいのにな。うちの親父もじいさまもどうせねちっこくもったいぶってんだろうぜ。
お金を貸すとき慎重になるのは当然のことだよ。もちろんうちの父さんも借り入れた分で事業を拡大し、しっかり返却できるプランを持って訪れてる。
So Tom is like Natsuki. But Kendall is like Kraus. And Shiv is Ava. And Roman is Rudolph. But also Rosa? Question mark? Anyway. Greg. Is Rosa maybe? Anyway. It's natural to be prudent when lending money, of course. That's what he said.
あとは
Great.
プレゼンテーション次第ってところだろうね。本当は脇で見させてもらって勉強したいんだけど。
But I guess Shiv is also like Kyrie.
母さんに追い出されちゃったんだよ。ちょっと残念かな。
親方様はクラウス様やエヴァ様のことを今でも子供の頃と全く変わらないように叱られるようです。
George is like Connor? Question mark?
そんな姿を息子のジョージ様に
It don't matter.
きっと見せたくないのでしょう。
As Shannon hung her head, she thought back on this scene she had grown used to seeing while working in the mansion. Even Kraus, who acted haughtily towards his siblings, was still treated like a child by Kenzo. Shannon herself had often seen Kenzo slapping Kraus or making him sit in Seiza style. It was probably deeply humiliating to have that forced upon him at his age. In the Oshiramiya family, taking care not to be present when this happened was one of the great tasks of the servants. Of course, that did mean that Shannon had been making mistakes by being witness to it.
そうだろうね。それを察して姿を消すのも子供の務めかな。それにしても今年もこの庭園の花は本当に素敵だね。
They are. George stretched as he said that. And truly effortlessly, he changed the subject away from something that had become a little gloomy. This time, Shannon noticed it too. This person, George, was highly sensitive to the mood of a group, and was always caring enough to change the subject to something harmonious. It had been so smooth that Shannon hadn't noticed it until today. Today, Shannon had to really admire that behavior of George's. Almost all the boys Shannon knew of her own age were her classmates during her education, but they were all immature and none of them had had the composure that George did. Even though he had been just another guest until moments ago, now she couldn't describe him with just that. But that was idle thinking irrelevant to her work as a servant. Shannon tried to chase it away with a small shake of her head.
どうしたんだよ。
いえ、何でもありません。お茶のご用意をしましょうか。先ほどのアールグレイを改めてご用意します。
紅茶の名前覚えてくれたんだね。嬉しいよ。
さっきはお気遣いはありがとう。
So this is a happy moment. Shannon was finally able to put her thanks into words. If you wrote them out on paper, they wouldn't seem like much. But Shannon had needed just a little courage to say them out loud. But George played dumb.
何のことだい?
Are there...
お礼を言われるような覚えはないけど。
Like, wink? It seemed he was being a gentleman in his own way, saying that he hadn't helped her because he wanted to be thanked, okay? It seemed that George's response had been more or less predictable to Jessica. She burst out laughing uncontrollably.
なあ、こういうところ気ざったらしいだろ。
いえ、そんなことは。
Jessica made fun of Shannon as she remained silent, red-faced. George didn't know the details, but he naturally joined in, laughing the same way. The three of them lazily walked around the garden, talking about what was new. George, as the oldest cousin, talked about his life experiences, Jessica talked about recent life on Rakenjima, and Shannon talked about her recent work. These silly little topics went round and round in circles. Even when the other stories had been fascinating, Shannon had never felt particularly connected to their contents. Dang. She was nothing more than a servant, and she had no intention of delving into her master's lives. She simply wanted them to enjoy their time speaking with her, and was only pretending to listen intently and nodding at the right moments. Aha! But for some reason, she found talking with George deeply interesting today. Even for things that she would normally ignore, she felt like she could feel a kindness hidden beneath the words. For some reason, she wanted to know more things about George, no matter how trivial. So she stared fixedly at him. She thought that as far as looks went, this person, George, was probably average and he didn't really stick out. But he was diligent, serious, and deeply thoughtful in a way that allowed him to understand people's hearts and care for them. He's sweet. But she had never been aware of these things until now. She might not have met him many times, but she had known his face for many years. Even so, she had not noticed once until now. So Shannon felt ashamed of this, and her cheeks went red. Maybe George thought that Shannon was appreciating him talking about himself, but he continued to relate his personal stories. But Jessica didn't miss that slight change in Shannon. So she turned the discussion around to the topic Shannon wanted to hear about most.
そういやさ、ジョージ兄さん、いい加減に彼女とかはできたわけ？
なんだい、やぶから棒に。
Normally, just George's reaction would have been answer enough. But for some reason, as she was now, Shannon found herself unable to understand it unless he said it clearly.
そのジョージ様はお優しいですから。
Sorry.
さぞや表になるだろうと。
いや、その
よせよシャノン。そういう追い詰め方はかえって意地悪だぜ。
This is sweet.
私は別に意地悪のつもりは。
嬉しい勘違いをありがとう。残念だけど特定の一人の女性とはまだご縁がないよ。見ての通り容姿も並以下だからね。
Damn, George.
女の子を楽しくさせてあげられるような気の利いた話術もないし。
George, don't clown yourself.
そんなことないと思います。それに男性の魅力は容姿では
There you
測れないと
go.
ころで
Don't
決
have
ま
her
るんじゃ
fix
ない
this
かと
for
思います。
you.
だからそのジョージ様はとても魅力的な男性じゃないかと思います。
Shannon was uncharacteristically verbose. Compared to her normal self, she was being very wordy indeed. George looked fairly pleased about hearing his own charm described, but he was just a little surprised at this high praise. Jessica, sure now that her own imagination was right on, acted as though she could barely hold back her
ありがとう
laughter.
シャノンちゃん。僕に魅力を感じてくれるような寛大な女性に早く巡り会いたいね。
きっと巡り会えると思います。ジョージ様の本当の魅力に気づいている女性はきっといえ大勢いらっしゃると思いますよ。
She probably wanted to say there's a girl not very far away. And she didn't, drawing a final line as the servant.
そうかな。さすがに照れるね。
Maybe he had never been praised this much by a girl. George's face turned just as bright red as Shannon's. As she watched the two of them, Jessica giggled sadistically.
ジョージ兄さんもやがては素敵なパートナーと出会うだろうけどさ、今のままじゃきっと上手にパートナーをエスコートできないと思うぜ。勤勉でいらっしゃるようだけど、そっちのお勉強はからっきしみたいだしよ。
悪かったね。その勉強はこれから少しずつしていくよ。
相手もいないのにどうやって？恋愛映画でも見る？それとも秀吉おじさんに習う？
Damn.
まるで鬼の首でも取ってみたい。
Honestly, I would too.
こういう話では男は女の子にかなわないね。
Yeah, it's time to get teased, cuzzo. Normally, when George and Jessica got together, their parents would say George is diligent and admirable, and Jessica is lazy and rude. So it was probably irresistible fun for Jessica when the roles were finally reversed. George also realized that, so this time he was content with being the one who was teased.
ジョージ兄さんさえいいならさ、シャノンでちょっと練習してみたら？シャノンを一日退屈させずにデートに連れてくんだよ。どうよ？
そんなお嬢様。
When she heard Jessica's audacious plan, Shannon's face turned bright red, and a donut of smoke rose from it with a poof.
それはとても魅力的な提案だけど、シャノンちゃんに悪いよ。彼女の貴重な休日を奪うだけじゃない。
Okay, so this is what led to
彼
that
女
date.
が本当に
Cool.
思いを寄せる人と二人きりで過ごす聖域に僕が割り込んでしまうことになる。
George.
そんな無粋なことはできないね。
George.
私も
Shannon
人とかそういう人はいませんので、そういうお気遣いははい、
Ooh.
無用なのです。
Shannon's blood had rushed all to her head, and it looked like even she didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. Jessica, who knew how Shannon normally was, seemed to find that really comical. She couldn't hide her cackling laugh anymore.
そうなのかい？シャノンちゃんみたいな可愛い子が一人身なんて。
Yes.
私使用人ですから、その男の方との縁なんてありませんし、その。
ってことはシャノンも将来素敵な男性を射止めるために交際の練習が必要だってことじゃない
How honestly, how sweet of this girl.
つまり二人とも互いの思惑は一致するわけだ。
To help them play Cupid.
なるほど。
Or help them by playing Cupid. Jessica cheered them on. Now George was also blushing. Oh God. Damn. Alright. Just like literally like a demon has appeared. Since Ava appeared and what was already an embarrassing situation, both of them became even more flustered. And Jessica was dead on the floor.
母さん、ごめんよ、話が込み入っちゃっててね。気づかなかった。
これはエヴァ様、大変失礼しました。
若い子たち同士で大層盛り上がってたみたいね。
She's not gonna take that well, so they're not gonna tell her. Oh, maybe she will. She's smart, right?
嫌ですね。エヴァおばさん。
Period. You better.
じゃないですか。秀吉おじさんとの馴れ初めを聞かせてくださいよ。
あらあら、そんなの言えるわけないわよ。
See, fierce.
本当にみんな若いんだから。
I know that cannot be how she really feels.
それで何、母さん。
She's gonna be like, you need to marry a rich girl of good stock.
用があって声をかけたんじゃないの？
お父さんたちの話が終わったわ。おじい様にあなたの話をするからいらっしゃい。
僕の話？何の話かな？
今みんなでしてたのと同じ話。
Oh no.
ほら、例の話。
Oh, see, there it is.
あの話かい。別におじい様に話すようなことじゃないんじゃないかな。
何の話だよ。まさかジョージ兄さん。
Oh,
するの？
yeah. Damn.
おめでとうございます。
違うよ違うよ。特定の女性はいないってさっき言ったじゃないか。
威張ることじゃないでしょ。
God dang. She's quick. Ava smiled bitterly, looking a little exasperated.
わかった。ジョージ兄さん、あれでしょ。お見合いだ。
お見合いですか。
Good lord.
まあね。
Ooh. That is tough. As a man, George undoubtedly wanted to find a partner by himself and carry her off himself. So it seemed that he found the idea of meeting his partner for the first time in a marriage meeting arranged by his parents to be a little pathetic.
お見合いというのはもっと年齢が成熟してからするものじゃないのかな。僕はまだ一人前になったって自覚すらないというのに。
もちろん即結納即結婚なんて焦る気は全然ないのよ。親睦を深めて年齢的にもう少し落ち着いてから籍を入れる形でも問題ないの。
From the forceful impression Ava was giving and George's evasiveness, it seemed you could catch a glimpse of how this marriage meeting linked into everything. Who this other person was remained unclear, but it was surely someone profitable to Ava's family in a business sense. It felt almost like a political strategy. They wanted to create a connection between the two families, if not by changing registers, then at least by having them get engaged.
結婚はね、好きになってからするものじゃないの。してから慣れることよ。感情だけで結婚すると必ず後悔する。 身
Jesus.
元のしっかりした人を生涯の伴侶に選んで、それから愛情を築いていくのも決して間違ったことではない。
Honestly, I don't think she's wrong, technically.
エヴァおばさん、それじゃ秀吉おじさんに悪いですよ。
私はあの人のこと大好きよ。いつまでも一緒にいて人生を共にしていきたい。
I mean, what more could you ask for?
エヴァ様、素晴らしいです。本当にご立派です。
ありがとう。でもその気持ちは二人で夫婦をしていくうちに育んだものよ。そして今の私たちより未来の私たちの方がもっともっと仲良しだと信じてる。私は
Whew,
夫婦
that
は
is
そういうものがいいと思ってるの。
that is a jeez. Okay.
だからって好きでもない相手と結婚しても
I don't think
いい
it's
って
the
論法には
best
な
way
ら
to
ないと
be,
思う
but
けど
damn.
な。
It's a way.
だからって好きな相手なら誰と結婚してもいいという論法にはならないわ。
So she's wrong about that. I think it's fine if that's what you want, but just like, dang.
結婚は一瞬。でもその後の夫婦生活だから一時の感情に任せず慎重に相手を探すべきな
Oh,
の。
like I get what she's saying, but yikes.
そしてそれは人生経験の未熟なあなたにお母さんたちの方がうまくやれるとは思わな
That
い。
second part is crazy.
それはそうかもしれないけど、
あなたは私の自慢の一人息子よ。
She's like, I schemed too
どこ
hard.
へ出しても恥ずかしくないくらい立派に成長してくれたわ。バトラ君は席を抜け、あなたが今やお父様の血を引く唯一の男孫。あなたにふさわしい相手は慎重に選ばなくてはならない。
As everyone related to the Ashiramiya family knew, Ava adored George so much, that he was the apple of her eye. But that didn't mean she had pampered him. She had raised him strictly and had grown into a charming man who wouldn't betray her expectations. That's how he was the apple of her eye.
あなたの相手は決して母さんたちの損得で決めてなんかいないわ。
Jesus.
あなたにふさわしい本当に素晴らしい女性に母さんが合わせてあげる。今はあなたの中にある青臭い若さがそれを疎むかもしれない。でもこれだけは母さんの言うことを聞きなさい。
Listen to mother.
私があなたのためを思わなかったことが一度でもある？
それはないけど。
今はそれで結構よ。さあ行きましょう。お父様を待たせてるわよ。急いで屋敷に行きなさい。
じゃあごめんね二人とも。また後で。
George bowed to the two of them, and after bowing once more to Shannon, he dashed off to the mansion.
じゃあおばさんも行くわね。楽しい話を打ち切っちゃってごめんねジェシカちゃん、シャノンちゃん。
いえいえ、気にしないでください。じゃあシャノン、私たちは行こうぜ。
はい。
大丈夫よ。ジェシカちゃんだってきっとそのうち素敵な出会いがあるわよ。ジェシカちゃんにふさわしい素敵な方がね。
私と同程度ってことは成績の悪いの。
What's she about to say to Shannon?
なんだかうぜえぜ。
もちろんシャノンちゃんにもね、あなたにふさわしい素敵な男性がきっと現れるわよ。
Okay. That wasn't too bad.
ありがとうございます。
As Ava there it is. As Ava giggled and smiled, she approached Shannon's ear with the hand over her mouth, as though she was trying to tell her a secret. What is it?
使用人風情のあなたにぴったりの相手がきっと見つかるわよ。
Yeah.
義務教育に行かせてもらった恩も忘れて。
There they go. Villain origin.
身の程を知りなさい。
んなつもりは私。
ジョージはお父様の血を引く孫の中では嫡男に当たるのよ。ひょっとしたら未来の後宮家を背負うことになるかもしれない人。その期待に応えるために、たくさんの勉強を重ねて素晴らしい大学に入り、素晴らしい成績を残しているわ。そんなジョージと無資格無教養な使用人風情が釣り合うと本気で思い？
Yeah, I see why she had to do it. Those malicious words all poured into Shannon's ear without spilling a drop. To Shannon, it was like cold water was being poured in there. I would have just pushed her ass out my face. Like, what the hell? Get back up. I don't know you. You could have COVID. This was all whispered in secret, and with the same smile as before. Jessica, who could only see Eva's expression, didn't think it was anything other than Eva telling Shannon some embarrassing story about love. When their secret conversation ended, Eva patted Shannon's shoulder as though to underscore her message. A demon.
あなたにぴったりのお相手がきっと見つかるからね。
Evil.
じゃあね、ジェシカちゃん。また後でね。
はい、また後で。秀吉おじさんとの話、その時聞かせてくださいね。
いやよ。
Oh, what a bitch. But we knew this. We knew this. Ava laughed dryly and headed back to the entrance hall. Behind Jessica, who was cheerfully waving her hand, Shannon reflected very, very deeply on those words of Ava's about knowing her place. Damn, I knew this family. Awful. Okay. We got a great job, team.